Hello students, welcome to the wonderful world of physics. So students, last time we started with a new segment of class 11th NCERT, system of particles. Okay, and we discussed about center of mass in that segment. Okay, and I told you that from here our journey to rotation mechanics has started, right? Last time we concluded our class with a numerical, and in that numerical I told you that if a body is given whose coordinates are not mentioned to us, but we need to find out the coordinates of center of mass, so we can take any one end of the body to be the origin. Okay, and in reference to that point we can find out the center of mass. So based on that concept we are going to try a few numericals today. We are going to see some other concepts, and we are going to learn a wonderful thing, that is the application, direct application of these laws which we have learned in the later part of this lecture. Okay, so let's get started, and I welcome you to Physics Asylum. So let's get started. Here I have a question. As you can see, a square is given to us, okay, and four masses are placed at the four corners of this square. Mass of 3m, mass of 4m, mass of 2m, and mass of m. Okay, four masses are placed at the four corners of this square. Now we are required to find the coordinates of center of mass of a square. Okay, now this is the direct application of the concept which we learned in last class. Yes or no? That no coordinates are given to us, only masses are given. Only masses are given. We are asked about the coordinates of center of mass, but no coordinates are provided to us. So what are we going to do? We are going to take any one, it depends on you. You can take any one vertex or corner of the square to be origin. Okay, so let's take this 3m corner. I am taking this 3m corner as origin or reference. You can take any other corner whatsoever you like. So let me take this as origin. Okay, so its coordinates will be 0, 0. Please pay attention. Side of the square is a. Side of the square given to us is a, and this 4m is at the distance of a from our origin. Yes or no? It is along x-axis, so it is at the distance of a from our origin. So coordinates of this 4m mass will be a, 0. Yes or no? Coordinates of this 4m mass will be a, 0. Why? Because a is the side of the square. A is the side of the square. It is given to us, right? Now what will be the coordinates of 2m mass? Coordinates of 2m mass will be 0, a. 0, a. As you can see that this 2m is along y-axis. If we have taken 3m to be the origin, then 2m mass is located along y-axis. So its coordinates are 0, a. Okay. What about this m? What about the coordinates of this m? It is very simple. See, a along x-axis and a along y-axis. Yes or no? What is the distance of this m from our 3m mass, which is our origin, which we have assumed to be origin? What are its coordinates? Its coordinates are, see, we are moving a distance along x-axis or horizontal axis and a distance vertically upwards, that is along y-axis. So its coordinates will be a, a. Are we clear? Yes or no? Are we clear? Right? So now let's find out the center of mass. Let's find out the center of mass or coordinates of center of mass for this square. Okay, so there is no z-axis given to us, so no need to worry about z-axis. We have to find the coordinates along x and y-axis. So what will be the coordinates along x-axis? Coordinates for x-axis will be x coordinates of center of mass. They will be m1 x1, right? So 3m into x1, that is 0, plus m2 x2, that is 4m into distance or this x coordinate of this 4m mass, which is a, plus m3 x3, this is m3, so plus m, what are its coordinates along x-axis? A. Yes or no? Plus m4 x4. M4, its value is 2m and its x coordinates are 0. Divided by M1, sum of M1, M2, M3 and M4. So that is 3 plus 4, 7 plus 8 plus M. Okay, let me write it. 3m plus 4m plus m plus 2m. Okay. So 4, 3, 7, 8 and 2, 10m. 10m will be the denominator. Now look here in the numerator, 3m into 0 cancels out. 4m into a, 4ma. What will we get? We will get 4ma here. Okay. Then m into a, so plus ma. Again 2m into 0, so it will cancel out, it will be 0. So we are left with 5ma upon 10ma. What will be our result? Our result will be, I am erasing it now. Our result will be 5ma upon 10m. Yes or no? M cancels out. 5 ones are, 5 twos are. So coordinate of center of mass along x-axis is a upon 2. Coordinates of center of mass along x-axis is a upon 2. Clear to us? Right? Okay. So we have got the coordinates along x-axis. Now let's find out the coordinates of center of mass along y-axis. Okay. So coordinates of center of mass along y-axis will be m1y1 plus m2y2 plus m3y3 plus m4y4 divided by m1 plus m2 plus m3 plus m4. So let's do it. M1, that is 3m, y1 it is 0 since it is the origin, plus m2 it is along x-axis, so y coordinate of this 4m mass will be 0. So 4m again into 0 plus m, that is my third mass, and its y coordinates are a is its y coordinate, and this 2m mass, its y coordinate is also a. So 2m into a. Okay. Divided by sum of all these masses, that is 10m. We know it because we have done it in the previous section. Yes. Okay. Now let's look. Let's solve it. So 3m into 0, it will cancel out. 4m into 0 cancel out. It will be 0. Look here. M into a, you will get ma. 2m into a. Okay. So 2ma. What are we going to get? Now I'm erasing it. We will get 3ma upon 10m. 3ma upon 10m. M cancels out. We will get 3 upon 10a. Okay. 3 upon 10a. So these are my x and y coordinates of center of mass. These are my x and y coordinates of center of mass. Clear to us? Let's move ahead. Let's move to another question now. Okay. Now as you can see, a triangle is given to us. In the question, triangle is given to us and it is saying that we have to find the center of mass of this equilateral triangle. 3 masses are kept along the vertices of this triangle. M. 3 masses M and M are kept at the vertices of this triangle. Okay, of this equilateral triangle. And side of triangle given to us is B. Okay, side of the triangle given to us is B. Right. So B is the side of triangle. Since it is equilateral triangle, so all the sides will be equal. That is why I have taken B along each and every side, right? And we also know that equilateral triangle, in equilateral triangle, each and every angle is 60 degree. Each and every angle is 60 degree. Okay guys? Clear? Okay, now let's solve it. How to solve it? What will be our approach? It is also the similar type of question that we are doing, okay? The similar type of question that we are doing. Why? Because here also no reference point is given or coordinates of these masses are not provided to us. Okay, then how to solve it? Simple approach. We will assume any one mass to be located at origin. Okay, or we will take the coordinates of any one mass, whatever you find suitable. You can take coordinates of that mass to be 0, 0. So I am taking coordinate of this mass to be 0, 0. So coordinates of this mass will be 0, 0. So for me, this is the origin. For me, this is the origin. Now in reference to this mass, I am going to, this is my step 2. First step is that take any one mass given to you in a body to be the origin or reference point. Our reference point is always origin, okay? And whatever mass of the body you choose to be located at origin, its coordinates will be 0, 0, okay? Now in reference to this mass, write the coordinates of other masses as well. This is our step 2. In reference to this mass, write the coordinates of other masses. So what will be the coordinate of the second mass? It is located along x-axis, as you can see. It is located along x-axis. So its coordinate will be, and side is b. So b, 0. Nothing along y-axis, yes or no? Nothing along y-axis. So b, 0, okay? Now please look here. Let's talk about this m. So please pay attention. This third mass is located at some height, as you can see. First, let's talk about its x coordinates and then we will focus on y coordinate. Yes or no? Since it is equilateral triangle, I have dropped a perpendicular bisector from this third mass to the side, to this side. Yes or no? I have dropped a perpendicular bisector, as you can see, from this third mass to the side containing two masses m and m, or on the opposite side of third mass. Okay. So since it is the perpendicular bisector, it's going to divide this side into two equal halves. Yes or no? I mean, this half and this half will be equal, right? So what will be the x coordinate of this point? Let's call this point as what to call it, f. So what will be the coordinates of this point f along x-axis and y-axis? The coordinate will be a upon 2, 0. Yes or no? Since we have moved not a, b. Yes, we have taken the side to be b. So coordinates of f will be b upon 2, 0. As we have moved half the distance, yes or no, from origin, we have moved half the distance of b. So b upon 2, 0. This is my x-axis coordinate for point f. Okay. Now look at the third mass m. This mass m is lying vertically upwards. It is lying vertically upwards to this point f. Okay. So x coordinates of this m will also be a, 2. Yes or no? X coordinates of this third mass will also be a, 2. Right? Now let's talk about y coordinate. Let's talk about y coordinate. My dear, it is b upon 2. I am getting confused between a and b. Okay, so b upon 2, right? Because b was the side. Now let's focus on y coordinate of the third mass. So see, the side of the triangle is b, and this side b is making an angle of 60 degree with the horizontal. It is making an angle of 60 degree with the horizontal. So I can resolve this side into two components, that is x component and y component. Yes or no? I can resolve it into two components, that is x and y. Yes or no? So coordinate of x will be, or along x-axis, the component of this b will be, this will be b cos theta, that is cos 60. Yes or no? Component of b along x-axis will be b cos 60, and component of b along y-axis will be b sin 60. B sin 60, right? And if you observe closely, this is the height of third mass from the origin. If you observe closely, this is the height of third mass from origin. So what will be the value of it? What will be the value of it? Please see, the value will be sin 60 is root 3 upon 2. So root 3 upon 2 into b. Root 3 upon 2 into b. These are the coordinates of all the three masses. These are the coordinates of all the three masses. Now it is very simple for us. We can simply find out the coordinates of center of mass. See, we can simply find out the coordinates of center of mass. Let's solve it. Okay. So first let's find out x coordinates of center of mass. What will it be? m1x1 plus m2x2 plus m3x3 divided by m1 plus m2 plus m3. So what is m1 here? m1 is m, each and every mass is m. So very simple, m into 0 for this one, right? Then m into b for second one, plus m into b upon 2 for third one, right? Divided by m1 plus m2 plus m3, that is 3m. And what will be the y coordinates of center of mass? That will be m1 into y1, so m into 0 plus m2 into y2. Now look at m2, it is located along x-axis, so its y coordinates will also be 0, plus m3 into y3. So y coordinates of m3 will be root 3 upon 2, so root 3 mb upon 2 divided by 3m, right? Now let's solve it. So this is 0, mb plus mb upon 2. I am writing it here. X coordinates of center of mass will be mb plus mb upon 2, okay, divided by 3m. Take the LCM 2, so it will be 2mb plus mb, right? So we will get 3mb upon 2 into 3m. So 3m cancels out. X coordinates of center of mass are b upon 2. X coordinates of center of mass are b upon 2. Now let's calculate y coordinate. Simple calculation, m into 0 cancels, m into 0 cancels. We will get root 3 mb upon 3m into 2. Yes or no? M cancels out. So you can simply write root 3b upon 6. Root 3b upon 6. So I am writing here the final answer. So coordinates of center of mass are, x coordinate is so RCOM is, x coordinate is b upon 2 and y coordinate is root 3 b upon 6. Okay, this is our answer. Easy. So we can now solve such type of numericals. It is now very easy for us to solve such type of numericals. Clear to us? Okay, now let's proceed. Yeah, now let's move on to the new concept, and that is the center of mass of two particle system. The center of mass of two particle system, and here I am going to tell you a very easy way, you can say a shortcut method to directly calculate the center of mass for two particle system. Okay, and then we will do one or two numericals on this. Okay, after this, learning this shortcut technique, we will implement or apply this technique on the numericals. Okay, now see, we are provided with the two masses m1 and m2. As you can see, they are separated by the distance of r, right? And we are required to calculate the center of mass of this system. So what to do? Again, the implementation of the concept which we have learned and which we are applying. No coordinates of m1 and m2 are given. So what we can do, we can simply assume any one of the mass, whatever is feasible for us, to be located at origin. So let me assume this m1 to be located at origin. So its coordinates will be 0, 0. Okay, clear? Now if I want to calculate coordinates of center of mass, what will that be? So see, pay attention. Coordinates of center of mass will be now m1 into r1, that is m1 into 0 plus m2 into r2, Now see, what are the coordinates of m2 with respect to m1? It is lying along the same axis, that is x-axis, yes or no? So its coordinates will be, and the distance is r, it is lying at the distance r from our origin or from our mass m1, yes or no? This second mass is lying at the distance r from our first mass. So, and along the same axis as well. So its coordinates will be r, 0. Okay. So coordinate of center of mass will be m2 into distance from x-axis or from the origin, distance of x-axis. So m2 into r divided by m1 plus m2, right? So you will see the answer comes out to be m2 r upon m1 plus m2. Yes or no? These are the coordinates of center of mass. These are the coordinates of center of mass. Okay, this is first scenario. Now please listen to me what I want to say. Whenever I am given with the two particle system, what I can do is I can simply apply a very normal understanding to solve this question. How? See, coordinate of center of mass came out to be m2 into r divided by m1 plus m2. Coordinates of center of mass came out to be m2 into r divided by m1 plus m2. So, my dear students, I can say that in reference to mass m1, center of mass of this system, lies at the distance of, from m1, the distance of center of mass is, or the coordinates of center of mass from reference to m1, whatever you want to like, you can say it, is m2r upon m1 plus m2. In reference to m1, the coordinates of center of mass are m2r divided by m1 plus m2. I can apply the same concept in reference to mass 2 also. I can apply the same concept in reference to m2. See, suppose, new scenario. Let's say I take m2 as origin. So 0, 0. Its coordinates will be 0, 0. Now I have taken m2 as my reference point, so it will be located at origin. That's what we assume. Yes or no? That's a modus operandi, that our reference point is always located at origin. Okay, so coordinates of m2 will be 0, 0. So what will be the coordinates of m1 in respect to m2? It will be, see, it will be, now see, don't take the direction sign. We are not concerned with the sign because we are dealing with coordinates. Okay, and sign in physics, as you all know, is used to represent the direction. Fine. So it will be r, 0. Hello, r, 0. Fine. Now look. Now I want to calculate the coordinates of center of mass in reference to m2. So x, com, there is no y-axis, that is why I am doing it along x-axis. It will be, now this is our first mass, so m2 into its x coordinates, that is 0, plus this is our second mass, m1 into r, yes or no, divided by m1 plus m2, yes or no. So my answer comes out to be m1r divided by m1 plus m2. These are the coordinates along x-axis for our center of mass with respect to m2. So with respect to m2, I can say that center of mass is located at the point m1r divided by m1 plus m2. In reference to m2, I can say this. Is this concept clear to us? Whenever two masses are given to us, whenever system of two masses are given to us, two particle system is provided to us, so I can predict the center of mass, or I can tell exactly the center of mass of the system. I can tell exactly center of mass of the system with reference to any of the particle. That's what I did here. I determined the center of mass of this system with reference to m1, the first particle, and then I determined the coordinates of center of mass with reference to m2, our second mass or particle, whatever you want to say. Okay, clear to you? Okay, fine. So this is the trick or technique to determine the coordinates of center of mass for such systems. Fine. Okay, now let's apply this technique. Moving ahead. Now as you can see, there is a question and we are going to use this technique here. there is a question and we are going to apply the technique here. The question is that coordinates of center of mass of uniform rods are L upon 2 and 2L upon 3. Sorry, I read it wrong. Sorry. The coordinates of center of mass of the uniform rods are, so a system is given to us and it is asking from us that what are the coordinates of center of mass for this system, right? So look here, I am provided with the coordinate axis, that is x and y axis, and our two rods are located here, and here two rods are located. Please look here. Along y axis, rod of length 2L is present. Along y axis, a rod of length 2L is present, okay, and along x axis, a rod of length L is present. Along x axis, rod of length L is present, okay. So how to determine the center of mass of this system? How to determine center of mass of this system? What do you suggest? How to do it? So see, it is very simple. First of all, look at this system. Look at this system. These systems, what do we call these systems? These systems are known as symmetrical systems. Yes or no? Rod, wire, all these things are symmetrical. I told you in the last lecture. Remember that symmetrical systems, their center of mass lies at their geometrical center. Their center of mass lies at their geometrical center. So this rod is symmetrical. Symmetrical can be divided into two parts, can be divided into two equal parts, and if you keep those parts one above the above, they would cover up each other, just like these two hands of yours. See, they covered up each other. These systems are known as symmetrical. These things are known as symmetrical. That if you fold the thing or if you divide the thing from its center, one part will entirely cover up or overlap the second part. Fine. So look at this rod. It is symmetrical. If you divide it into two halves, one half will entirely overlap or cover the second half. Okay. So what will be its center of mass, or what will be its coordinate of its center of mass? So coordinate of its center of mass will be in its geometrical center. Yes or no? This is symmetrical system. So its coordinate will be at its center. Right? And as you can see, my dear student, that this rod is along y-axis. So in reference to origin, if my origin is, and it is 0, 0, so in reference to my origin, the center of mass of this rod will be at 0, L. Tell me yes or no. The center of mass of this rod will be at 0, L in reference to my origin. In reference to my origin. Why? Because this rod is located along y-axis. This rod is located along y-axis. Its x coordinates are 0. Yes or no? Right? Now let's talk about this second rod. Let's talk about this second rod which is located along x-axis. Let's talk about this second rod which is located along x-axis. What will be the coordinates of its center of mass? So center of mass of this rod will also lie along its center since it is symmetrical. Center of mass of this second rod will also lie along its center. Yes or no? So here will be its center of mass and it will be at, you can see no y-axis is present here. It is lying along x-axis. So it will be L by 2, 0. Y coordinates will be 0. It will be L, 2 by 0. Now question asks us that what is the center of mass of this system, the combination of these two rods of this entire system. So let's calculate it. Now it is very easy to calculate. See. So center of mass, I am doing it here, of this system will be, if I calculate the x coordinates, and let's say mass is not given to us, we can take any mass if we want. So let's take the mass of this horizontal rod as m and mass of this vertical rod as 2m, right? Because mass is not provided to us, and you all know by now that mass will cancel out, so no relevance of it. Fine. So I have taken or assumed the mass of this horizontal rod to be m and mass of this vertical rod to be 2m. Now let's solve this. So coordinates of center of mass along x-axis will be m1, x1. Let's say this 2l is m1. Okay, 2m is my m1. So 2m into x coordinates, that is 0. 2m into 0 plus m into L upon 2 divided by 3m, divided by 3m. Yes or no? So this 2m cancels out. What will I get? I will get ml upon 6m. So m cancels out. I will get L upon 6. I will get L upon 6. Now look at the options and let's find out that which option contains L upon 6 as its x-axis coordinate. Other options are irrelevant. We can delete those options. So see, A, x coordinate is L upon 2, irrelevant, cancels out. B, x coordinates are L upon 4, again irrelevant, cancels out. Now I have two options left with me, C and D. C has its x coordinate as L upon 6 and D also has its x coordinate as L upon 6. So now I have to find out y coordinate also. Fine, let's find out the y coordinates. Let's find out the y coordinates. No issue. Okay. So y coordinate of this system will be, y coordinates of center of mass will be m1 into y1, that is 2m, into y1, which is L, plus m2 into y2. M2 is m and it is along x-axis, so m into 0 divided by 2m plus m, divided by 2m plus m. What will you get? You will get 2ml upon 3m. 2ml upon 3m. mm cancels out. Our answer is 2l upon 3, y coordinate. So which option contains y coordinate as 2l upon 3? Please look. So option C contains y coordinate as 2l upon 3 and x coordinate as l upon 6. So my option C is the correct option. Option C is the correct option. Clear to us? Fine? Great. Now let's move ahead and see a conceptual question, which is, as I told you in the later segment of this lecture, I told you in the starting that at the later segment of today's lecture, I am going to discuss a conceptual question which will be the implementation of all the concepts we have learned till now. Okay? So the final question for us. Don't get confused or scared by the length and breadth of the question. Just read it and try to understand what it is saying, and then we will solve it together. It is very easy. So it is saying that three identical metal balls, as you can see here, three identical metal balls, each of radius is small r. So radius of each ball is small r. These are the radius, so I can say that this is r, this is r, right? R, 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 R. All these are radius. So triangle has got side 2r, 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 equilateral triangle. Okay. Placed touching each other, as you can see, on a horizontal surface. This system is placed on a horizontal surface. A table, for example, this system is placed there. Three balls are placed like this, that they are touching each other. Okay. Such that an equilateral triangle is formed when center of three balls are joined, as I told you. And you can see yourself also that this triangle is equilateral with the side 2r. And how is this triangle formed? This triangle is formed by joining the sides of, by joining the centers of these three balls, So a triangle is formed and this triangle is equilateral. Fine. So we have to find out the center of mass of the system. We have to tell that where the center of mass of this system located. Okay. Now see, this is very easy question and totally conceptual. By now you can easily tell. First of all, look here. We are going to apply the concept of symmetry that I told you in the last lecture, and today we applied it in last question. Whenever, forget about two, first let's talk about one only. Okay, so whenever any object is symmetrical, its center of mass will lie along its geometrical center. If an object is symmetrical, its center of mass will lie along its geometrical center. So please look here. Please look here and tell me, can't you see the symmetry of this triangle? Hello. Isn't it symmetrical? This entire system is symmetrical. It can be folded and overlapped. Hello. It can be folded and overlapped. If you look along from this section, the front view, if you look, this triangle or this system, if you look at it like this, it can be folded. It can be folded in this point. at this point, yes or no? Okay, so it can be folded, right? This is a point. Now let's observe this system. Let's observe this system from one side view. If I observe from here, hello, then I see that this system, if I observe from here, I see that this system is also symmetrical along x-axis, like this. See, it can also be folded like this. It can also be folded like this. It can be folded like this. It can be folded like this. My God. Now if I observe from this end, you see, it is symmetrical along this line as well. It can be folded diagonally as well. So symmetrical along this diagonal as well. So as now it is very clear that the center of mass of this system will be at the point joining its meridians, yes or no? Medians here. This will be the point of center of mass. Clear to us? Okay, so that's all in today's lecture. Today we discussed about the symmetry of the system and we solved few problems on the implementation of the concept that when coordinates of object is not given to us, coordinates of masses situated in a system are not provided to us, then we can assume any of the mass to be located at origin, and in reference to that mass we can determine the coordinate of entire system. Okay, so I hope you all enjoyed today's lecture. I will see you in the next lecture. Till then, bye bye and take care of yourself.